do you think it was legitimate resistance against Israel, given that Israel didn't occupy Gaza at the time?
Well, Andrew, I think you probably need to brush up on your understanding of international law with respect.
Well, I would be helped if you just give me a straight answer to a straight question.
Gaza has been subject to an ongoing occupation since 1967. The fact that Israel withdrew its illegal settlements and took most of its troops out of Gaza in 2005 does not alter the fact that it still remained legally occupied under international law. And going back, I've already answered your question. So the events on October the 7th that involved attacks on civilians are illegitimate under international law. Any attack on a civilian is illegal under international law. I don't think I could be more clear.
So Hamas attacks on the IDF and Israeli security that day on October the 7th, that was legitimate in your view?
Well, you'd have to examine each and every one of those incidents, but international law is very, very clear, and this is part of the problem. And one of the other things I said on October the 8th is those who condemn, and I don't know whether you would be included in this or not, those who condemn Hamas's attacks on the basis of them being a violation of international law and constituting war crimes, but do not condemn Israel's illegal occupation, imposition for over 77 years on all of the Palestinian people of what is widely regarded across the human rights community as a system of apartheid, and since October the 7th, who have not condemned what is widely now regarded across the international human rights community and genocide scholars as a genocide, have no moral foundations on which to issue their condemnation of Hamas. If you believe in international law and the application of it, as I do, then you apply that consistently and universally.
And of course, Israel doesn't accept it as a genocide, and many other scholars don't either.
Most people who perpetrate crimes don't accept.
I'm simply saying it's a matter for debate.
Let me come back, because you just
made
a point.
I'm going to ask another question. I'm going to ask another question. No, because you're bogging down and I want to get on.
Respond briefly to the point you've made.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Vladimir
I'm going to move
Putin
and ask a
not
question.
Accept he's engaged in an illegal occupation of Ukraine.
I don't want to talk about Vladimir Putin. I want to talk about your views and what is happening. Now, you were obviously outraged. Many people across the world were by the scale and nature of the Israeli retaliation, the destruction of the Gaza Strip, the killing of thousands of civilians, including many children. Is that what prompted you to begin marching, or were you marching before that had happened?
No, our first march in response to what happened, we held a protest on October the 9th. And the first march that we held was on October the 14th, by which time I don't remember the figures, but we had already seen thousands of Palestinians already slaughtered, and we had had numerous statements of genocidal intent that were later cited in January 2024 in the case put before the International Court of Justice that was accepted as plausible by the International Court of Justice around Israel's commission of a genocide. To remind your listeners, those included Benjamin Netanyahu. He said this, I think, on October the 7th or at the latest October the 8th, that we will target each and every corner of the Gaza Strip. It will be turned into a deserted island, exactly what Israel has now done. And of course, the notorious comments of Yair Gallant, then the Israeli defense minister, who said nothing is getting into Gaza, no food, no water, no medical supplies, nothing will get in. We are dealing with human animals. So already, yes, when we first marched, we were dealing
which was before Israel had moved against
statements
Gaza.
of genocidal intent and thousands of Palestinians already having been slaughtered.
So you were marching against the intent because it hadn't actually happened on October
well, no, thousands of Palestinians had already been killed by the time of our first march on October the 14th.
Oh, yeah, but there was a march on October the 9th before that.
No, there was a static demonstration on October the 9th.
It was a demonstration against Israel. You were demonstrating against Israel.
Over 1,000 Palestinians had already been slaughtered.
On
October the 9th, by the way, military analysts, I remember hearing one of them on Newsnight were already speculating that at least 10 to 20,000 Palestinians were likely to be slaughtered by Israel
Right.
before.
So you were marching on the
ceasefire.
intent.